Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to McBain's Legends of the Game podcast. Today is a first for this podcast on a strictly basketball episode. Once again, I, Thomas Maloney, am your host, and back on the show with me again is Grayson Guernsey.
Yeah, I'm letting Thomas be host for a little bit because I feel like you should have a bit of fun time, but I'll be back to your normal host after this episode. This episode, we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated basketball teams, probably McBain history, and that's the 2021 men's basketball team. Tom, what do you know about that team's right now, Tommy? Or how do you know, what did you know about their season, going into it?
Well, going into the season, there's lots of questions just because it was right after COVID-19, and they lost a lot of seniors. Grayson, can you name some of those?
I think they lost. A lot of them were kind of studs. They lost Grayson Verberkamos, Caden McGillis, Mason Hooker, Daniel Ronenbaugh, Tristan McElhaney, Connor Murphy, and just that's just a name a few of them. But there's a lot more lost in that graduation than just them.
And just losing all those guys, because basically almost all of those guys were the starting five.
Yeah.
So eighth man on the rotation, and that caused a little bit of problem for this next season because Mr. Koopman, the coach, he had to decide who was going to be the players to start on his team.
Yeah, and he took a little bit of time doing that, and he moved up some guys from varsity. From 8th grade. I know he moved up Benjamin Rodenbaum, which now he's an advent starter for the McBain offense, and he also moved up Darius Panay Perez, too. And he's been getting a little bit of action, but he's mostly, I see him as just a sixth man off the bench, or kind of a really good one. But, yeah, he moved up some guys. And then also some other people is that, this year, everybody on it was, really inexperienced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just to name some of the guys that, were starting at the beginning of the season. And Dylan Schoner, he didn't hardly play. And then it was Ben Rodenbaugh, starting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Evan Haverkamp, who was a sophomore at the time.
Yeah.
And then they had Joe Winkle and my brother Brock, who, never played either. And then they had Clayton Engelwright, and he was also a sophomore that didn't, play that much as before that.
So, as you were saying, yeah, we had a lot of inexperience, if you know what I'm saying. Just to the point where the offseason was gonna be a fun time. The offseason was gonna be essentially a fun time.
And obviously they had to have practiced really hard just to get to where they were.
Oh yeah, they definitely had to.
And it started out pretty rough. They ended up losing the first 6 games, and they were all conference games.
Yeah.
And that's huge because obviously Coach Koopman, he loves basketball. He takes pride in his work, and he just tries to win the conference almost every single year he coaches.
Yeah, he tries doing that. They lost their first 6 games, and it's just I like to say half of it was because of inexperience. This team was super, super young. We had a sophomore starting, a freshman starting. Didn't we have a couple of the juniors at that time starting, and not really any seniors at all, except for 2 or maybe so that would start consistently. And they had Benjamin Rodenbaugh obviously at point. They had Evan obviously at center, and then Brock and all those other guys would be the rest. I'm not familiar. Whatever those other positions are called, I don't know that much, but yeah. But after that 6 game losing stint, they made a bit of a comeback, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they turned it around and got revenge on Beal City after Beal City beat them earlier, I believe.
Oh yeah, the first game that Beal City just smoked them.
But this time McBain got some revenge on them and won 44-32, and that was their first win, bringing some energy to next week against Everett, where they also won 47-40.
Yeah. And Everett, it's just that was also a good thing because Everett, in my opinion, is a hard place to play at because whenever I played there, I think it's just hot. It's hot in there, and then also their stadium is built like a food court or a food something like that. It's small. It looks like a dungeon. Actually, it looks like a barn by the inside of it. The way it's structured, where it has a triangle top, so I mean, it's a good win for them and then a good win going into the next week. But I'm pretty sure things went downhill after that game. But we don't talk about that. I mean, they had a short losing stint, winning stint, losing. It just went like that all season, kind of.
But the thing is, they lost to two really good teams. Those being to Wyatt-Nasatis led Traverse City St. Francis and the NMC Super Team.
Oh yeah, the NMC Super Team that was supposed to beat Prime LeBron James in Miami, but yeah, that team went nowhere. Then they had the pro Wyatt-Nasatis. Personally, I think he looks like that one chef from Ratatouille. You know, the one chef with like the one I don't know, but no offense to him, it's an honor. Actually, I mean, like he's no, because he's able to cook up on that court, just like the chef from Ratatouille. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, but yeah, after that two back-to-back hard games, they got things back on track, and they were able to win a couple of games.
And honestly, that's really good for them, and it allowed them to get just a few more wins before the end of the season. And they finished out the season being 7-13, and that gave them a lot of confidence going up against Pine River in the first round of the playoffs.
And yeah, I mean, come on, it's Pine River. What? There's not.
No, they're not a basketball school.
It's Pine River. They're not even like a third. What do you mean they're not a basketball school? What sport?
Wrestling, I think. They have a lot of wrestling.
You got a point there, wrestling. They are pretty good at wrestling, but they're only good. Well, actually, if you think they're good at wrestling, you think they'd be good at football, right?
Well, then 2016 they went to the regionals or something.
Yeah, 2016 they went to the regionals
in football. But
yeah,
let's get back on track.
No. Yeah, actually, let's get back on track. But yeah, they beat the Bucks. Dylan Schoner, actually, I think I saw that game a little bit. Dylan Schoner like popped off and scored 16 points off of threes. Simply off of threes, because he just started shooting them, and then he also got 2 steals in a dominant performance. The defensive plays during the game was actually really good. We had 12 total steals and then 32 rebounds, of which I mean that's not really that impressive, but I thought rebounds. We got to extend this podcast a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna put some stuff into here, all right. But yeah, the next round they're going against kind of a competitive school, Mason County Central. And yeah, that game was a good one.
I definitely agree. Both of these teams were they were pretty even, I'd say, going into the playoffs. I don't think a lot of people expected them to win the first game, but both of them did. And then they ended up going versus each other, and it was a just tight battle the entire way through.
Yeah.
But in the end, Ben Rodenbaugh had the steal of the game, got a pass down the court. I'm not remembering who it was, but he passed it down court to someone, got the layup, and the shot was good. 37-35, the game is over. And that was it. Grayson, what do you want to say about that?
Well, I mean, again, it's just Rodenbaugh, naturally gifted athlete. That's one thing. And that play right there, I think I saw it a little bit on Rambler Review. Yeah, I thought that was... I mean, I fully did not even understand basketball at that time. Because if you didn't know, I'm not a good basketball. I don't really watch basketball that much. But then, simply... Yeah, it was an impressive thing to do for them to come out and win the game like that. But if you look back at the beginning of the season and you told me this team would have won districts, I would have been like, okay, I'm going to check you into the office. I think we're going to search your bag real quick. I'm going to see what you got because I think you might be on something.
Yeah, you might have a fever at 102. I definitely agree. No one, I don't think anyone thought they would win districts.
No
when they ended up 6-13 or whatever it was, I'm pretty sure. And just after that win, they were just ecstatic. I don't even think the players even thought they were going to go that far.
No, they definitely did not even think they were going to go that far.
But, after the game, they seemed so happy. There's smiles everywhere. They're crying, people. Just emotions all around. But next week they'd be going up against Stanford Meridian, and they played at Grayling. And this one's going to be the pre-regionals, I believe.
Yeah, pre-regionals. I mean, Stanford Meridian. Never heard of that school, but I guess they play basketball. But yeah, they're a pretty fast-paced team. I mean, when I saw a couple of things off of them, they did a lot like what McBain does now. Get off of the fast breaks, score baskets that way. And I mean, that's just one effective way to score baskets. You would agree, Tommy?
No, I definitely agree. When you move the ball, it's a lot easier to score baskets. Like, just passing it down the court to some wide-open guy,
yeah,
it's basically automatic all the time on varsity.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they were a hard – it was like hard dogfight the entire way through. I mean, for a basketball game, it was a bit physical for a basketball game. And, you know, I like football, so I thought that was like old-school basketball. I remember I was watching it with my dad. He likes old-school basketball. He thought it was the funniest thing of all time. But, yeah, however, even though it was – even playing as hard as they could, the Ramblers season ended with a final score of 49-43. Only lost by like 6 points. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow.
Gotta practice your math a little bit, buddy.
Yeah, I'm slow. Stop being like my mom.
But that is only a 3-point game, and that's pretty tightly contested. Like,
yes. Very tightly contested.
Just dish it out to Dylan Schoner twice, and he can hit those. But we just ran just a little bit out of time, and they just dribble out the clock, I believe, at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But, like, let's just recap the season real quick. And, like, starting out 6-13 or 14.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, that was not a good season for Ramblers from Bruce Koopman's mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
I mean, the very next year, I know we made a comeback, but it was like, it was like a process of a professional team rebuilding itself. I mean, there's going to be a couple of down years. Then the next year, they actually had like a pretty good winning record. I think they won the conference. And yeah. And I mean, they did. No, I don't think. They might have. I don't know right now. But I think they're like one of the worst teams in the conference, and then they made it as far as the supposed super team that was NMC. And that NMC super team, they lost in like the regional finals.
They went one game further than our McBain team.
But still.
And they still lost.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to go like all the way to the Breslin. Yeah, that's what everyone said.
They lost to a public school. Aren't they supposed to be private schools that win all their games?
Yeah.
That's the. Yeah, if you're a private school and you lose to a public school, come on, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? But, yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad season. It was just a start of something special, in my opinion, of something special to come on further down the road.
And winning a trophy off a 6-14 season is a big accomplishment, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not many teams can do that. And, like, I believe, like, I'm going to talk about football here for a second. I believe there was like a 5-4 team that went to the playoffs like this year or last year, and they won a district. And like if you're doing that, then you're going to be really happy. I know like our team, what was our record this year?
We had one more win than we did loss, so I think we were 6-5. I don't know. I know we
might have been 5-4 then.
We might have been. Yeah, we were 5-4. We had a winning. Wait. I don't remember, but I know at the end of the season we had 7 total games that we won. So I think we had. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, like you said, we might have been.
But like no one predicted our football team to win districts either, and that just shows.
Well, come on, dude. Who are we going against? Beaverton.
You said it yourself.
Whole
that we
Lake.
weren't gonna win.
I said I hope we did it because I wanted to go broadcast some football games to get paid. I didn't want to drive up to Menominee. I did that willingly, just for you, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I didn't even expect our team to make it that far.
But it just shows like the hard work of this McBain school, like how these athletes just consistently just bam, bam, bam are trying just to win as many games as possible in a single season.
Way to plug our school in a good way.
And that's about it.
Yeah, that is about it. We really don't have that much other stuff to like talk about and stuff like that, but Tommy, you take it away because this is going to be the last podcast episode you host for now.
We'll see. And I just want to say thanks for listening, guys. Continue to subscribe to our channel. Keep up with our content. I'm Thomas Maloney.
Turn on that
and
bell.
With me is
Grayson Guernsey.
And we're signing off. This is Legends of the Game, Episode 6, Underdogs, baby.